Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 3 of a best of 5 between Gonzo and Karma in the grand final in season 3 of the Steel Division 2 League. Today they are playing on Slutsk East, and both players are once again playing on the Allied side. So on our left in the red team we have Gonzo using the 26th Guards Rifles and the Flatline Deployment type. And on our right, in the blue team, we have Karma playing with the 6th Airborne and the Flatline Deployment type. So once again, both players are going to be using the same deployment type, so it's all going to come down to who can get more cost efficiency from their units. But Gonzo on the 26th Guards again. So something that he's probably comfortable with, and we saw him use the 26th quite well in the first game. Came under a lot of pressure though from Karma in the 7th. The 7th using the PE2s to his, Karma using the PE2s to his advantage to break down Gonzo's plays. But Karma's now got to rely on the 6th Airborne because I guess maybe the 7th was banned. I have no idea what the bans were in the finals, unfortunately. So I'm going to assume that the 7th was banned, otherwise we'd likely see one of them playing it again. Since both have had success with that division so far. But the 6th is an interesting choice because it still has very strong aircraft. It really does. You've got access to lots of fast fighter bombers that can really overwhelm your opponent's AA if they are concentrated well enough. You've also got plenty of decent infantry support on the ground. You've got the Tetrox that are super speedy from the start. And you can put a lot of pressure on your enemy very, very quickly. So we're going to have to see how Gonzo deals with that. Either way, let's have a quick look at what's going down on the field. So on the top side here for Gonzo, he's going to go the triple sniper route with triple OB25s and a KV-1E to follow up. Further down we're seeing 2 snipers and the leader with 3 Gavardia behind and the KV-1E. Looks like the KV-1Es are going to be the choice unit to deal with Tetrox, especially in the open on the top side. PTRS, 2-man rifle squad that is, with the Flamers and the OB there, zooming ahead of multiple units of Gavardia. On the bottom side going to be the 2 snipers, 45mm AT gun and 3 Avtos, but look at this. Mosquito brought in at the start to napalm the road and stop Gonzo from getting into position, but Gonzo's immediately repathing and unloading his troops on this side of the river, and then he's going to walk up the road from this side. Lovely moves there from Gonzo. Karma is going to definitely slow down Gonzo's play here by doing that, but Gonzo's quick thinking to move over here to do that instead is really, really cool. So the snipers moving into position there for Gonzo don't really manage to get anything onto Karma. Karma's just gone for 4 Canadian Paras in the town with 1 flamer up front. Snipers here, managing to clean out one of the sniper squads there very quickly. We're going to see air landing, glider crew, and Canadian Paras there with a 6-pounder moving into position. Tempest coming in for the bombing strike. Does manage to hit the snipers very well there. Pins both of the Gavardia with the help of the snipers. The Yak 9B managing to get the bomb off onto Karma, but the Tempest very, very quick. Does a lot of damage to the Yak 9. That Yak 9's in trouble. These OBs, though, opening up onto this sniper as it fires or gets revealed by the snipers of Gonzo. That's going down in the open. Tempest surely going to shoot down the Yak 9 eventually. This is a rather large concentration here from Karma. It looks like he definitely wants to maintain control of the hill. And I like this sort of feint on the bottom side where he's got the 1 small unit further up to cover for the 4 units further back. Yak 9, will it get away with this? I'm surprised that Gonzo's keeping that in the air. He's actually decided to replace it with the Yak 9. That's still a very risky engagement for the Yak 9. Vickers under fire from the KV-1E. Might end up going down here, especially with the help of the sniper. Sniper versus sniper though, 2-star veterancy apiece. We're going to have to see who wins that engagement. Yak 9 going to try and swing it in the favour of Gonzo. Can't really do enough damage just yet. Okay, sniper moves back for Gonzo. Can he finish it off? Both of them just going at each other. That's crazy. Karma's definitely got a huge advantage here. It looks like Gonzo in the end just couldn't really find any value out of a push onto this hill. And yeah, Karma's just put his stamp on that. But with the sniper eventually going down on the side, of Karma with all of the support from Gonzo and the Vickers HMG going down. That's going to be a flag in the favour of Gonzo. But Karma's in a very, very good position here. If he can keep control of this hill and get this AT gun into a really nice position, he can cut off reinforcements to this bottom side town and then start to make plays here with off-map potentially. The 6th Airborne does have off-map up its sleeve if he chooses to bring it in. He can also obviously rely a lot on his aircraft if he needs to. Typhoon AT coming in with a rocket strike, does hit the KV-1E nicely, takes that out. One strike, job done. Yak-9 is definitely not going to get over there quick enough. Those aircraft from Karma on the side of the 6th Airborne are so fast that it's just very hard to reply to them with your own fighters. You need to have AA already deployed usually to stop them from being too effective or potentially shooting them down. So Centaur now actually moving into position. I really like the placement of the Centaur actually from Karma. It looked like he was bringing it in onto this hill to maybe support this push, but he's actually moving it to the edge of this light cover so that he can support a push back towards these Gavardia. And that will be very useful for also pushing on to the offensive flag here that Karma might attack. So 2 Gavardia now being moved up, 2 flamethrower squads in these buildings for Karma. As soon as they are revealed, they're going to come under a lot of fire from these OBs. Both of them forced to fall back, and that is not good news for Karma. He's going to lose his position in the open that he was originally holding. But Tempest coming in with a bombing strike is going to kill off the OB in the open. These Tempests just so difficult to deal with. They're so fast, so effective, and Karma getting value out of that once again. Centaur are going to be starting to deal damage to some of these Gavardia squads from this light cover. You can do a nice chunk of damage there when they move across the open like that. Vickers HMG trying to get involved here. Not often you see this on the field. Sounds very cool. And the air landing there also engaging as well. Tempest coming in with a bombing strike on the top is forced to reply to the Yak-9. Mosquito coming in with flames onto the Gavardia. Going to try and take those out. Is he going to head on the Yak? Not quite. Oh, another Mosquito here. Going to be burning out the Gavardia on the bottom side. So 2 Mosquito flamers from the start. This is a very interesting allocation of points from Karma. I'm not sure I'm entirely convinced that bringing in 2 of those is a good idea, because they're not that effective at killing things. Yes, they can pin them down, and if infantry is grouped up, they could be quite effective. But in the current state of the game, with Gonzo moving his Gavardia squads individually, those Mosquitoes really struggle to find value. 6-pounder here, going to be hit by the Yak-9, and that's a lovely kill for the Yak-9. Meanwhile, the fighter Yak-9 is currently trying to strafe some of these infantry. Unfortunately, the Yak-9s aren't really good at strafing with that 20mm. They don't do that much damage. Tempest, though, coming in with bombs. Looks like it was going to target a unit that had already been killed, so Karma has decided to reroute that. Be interested to see where he goes with it, because a 2-star M15 is here. Well, this actually doesn't have any veterancy, it was just passing by the commander, but looks like Gonzo realizes that he probably does want that to be 2-star veterancy so that it can have the effectiveness to cover this top side where Gonzo has made quite a bit of ground, because this offensive flag in the open is the only reason that Gonzo's not losing tickets right now. Karma has put himself in a very, very good position on this bottom side hill and is maintaining that position. He's managed to actually get a turret stuck onto this KV-1E. I think currently he's holding fire on this on purpose so that it doesn't get targeted by Gonzo, maybe waiting until he has aircraft to cover him. But Karma here actually trying to make a little bit of a play, moving up with the Canadian Paras. This is very risky for Karma. It could backfire. The amount of infantry that Gonzo has here, if he manages to repel Karma's 4 squads, he could just take position on Karma's side of the town on the bottom. But lovely head on there from the Tempest does take out one of the Yaks, and well, looks like Karma's still maintaining his air supremacy, which is very, very good for the 6th Airborne. 6th Airborne needs to maintain that sort of air supremacy, otherwise it does lose a lot of its power. 2 Vickers here, in the buildings, trying to stop the Gavardi from making ground, but don't have that much suppression onto these Gavardi. Really aren't doing much damage at all. But that is revealing the OBs, and the Tempest's going to be going for the kill there. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, the Canadian Paras are still moving up. Tempest does manage to get the OB. Oh, that's probably going to be the Tempest going down. The M15 at that close range with the 50 cals to help. Yeah. Nicely done there. Picks off one of the Tempests. That is a good kill for Gonzo. He's got probably a few more of those to go before he can be happy with himself, but that's a start for sure. And the Yak-9 there finishing off an air landing. That's very handy. That's a 2 for 1. In terms, as far as Gonzo is concerned, he's happy that he took out the Tempest, and the strafing of the infantry is just a pat on the back. Yak-9 coming in with the bombing strike onto the Canadian Paras. Lovely kill onto one squad, pins down the other. These infantry, again, they have to be very careful because they're not supported very well. This flamethrower in the open, though, damn, that had a lot of resilience against 2-star Avtos. I just thought that would get deleted, but no, it stayed alive. This time it gets deleted. And those Avtos now, if they approach the Canadian Paras, got to be a bit careful of the Willy Pete. Basically a Molotov. Can pin down your squad very quickly. But with, you know, a lack of infantry here now on the bottom side, Karma's being forced to reinforce this. Otherwise, he will get broken through. And now Gonzo's eyes are on this bottom side. It's going to be very, very tough for Karma to stop him from pushing. Because I think if we look at the last game, Gonzo really, really had the initiative. And he's going to be confident going into the third game. So I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of playstyle that he had continues into this game. But Typhoon there getting another nice kill, but going to be under fire by 2 Yak-9s, and that is not a good position for the Typhoon. That is an expensive aircraft to lose. 160 points down the drain, I believe. And, well, he killed 2 KVs with that, so it's not a terrible trade. It does remove some of, like, Gonzo's build-up of armor, which he doesn't really have much of. But still, it's not a good loss to have, especially at this point in the game. That M15 is really, really helping out, and that play from Gonzo again with the fighters really making a big difference in these games. Makama, Mosquitoes coming in again. Honestly, these Mosquitoes could be really good for cutting off reinforcements. At the moment, it looks like he's just trying to use them to clean up some infantry squads. Does manage to get a double kill there with the sniper and the Gavardia. That was nicely done. These Avtos are forced back by the Canadian Paras due to the Willy Pete landing. So, one Canadian Para holding on, but just as I mentioned, Karma's push on this bottom side might just bite him a little bit as he starts to lose pressure to the Canadian Paras. The Canadian Paras have one more Willy Pete, so this Avto's gonna probably be pushed out and then get pinned down. Centaur did manage to also kill one of the Avtos before it unloaded, so another Centaur on the way, and these Centaurs can be really, really good for crushing infantry at range. So he's bringing one of those in to kind of sit on this bottom side, cover the town, and do as much damage as possible. Ooh, 2 Yak-9s going down there to the Tempests, and the Tri-Polston as well. That's not good news for Gonzo, and Karma's going to be glad that he got that back. He's going to be going for the bombing strikes onto the M15. The M15's engaging the first Tempest, but changes its target. It's too late. That's going to go down. Both the Tempests do the job, and again, something that I talked about at the start of the game, the concentration of air in the sky, going to definitely be able to overwhelm the AA of Gonzo. And we saw that happen actually in the first game where Gonzo used the 26. His AA got broken down by Karma because he was relying on Sol M15s like that to cover the skies. And I think those M15s in matchups like this only work in pairs, and Gonzo knows that. So he is going to be bringing in a pair of M15s, and together they might be able to just about overwhelm a few aircraft heading towards them. But there is still the threat, of course, of other vehicles, like the Tetrarch sniping them, or the Centaurs getting the better of them with a HE shell or something like that. Nice bombing strike there. Does manage to take out the AT gun. Centaur is going to back off from the engagement with the KV-1E. Now Karma is going to be using the 203mm off map on this bottom side. It's going to put that down, but he doesn't really have much to follow it up. He's bringing in the Canadian Paras and glider crew and AB engineers. It looks like he dropped an emergency, and it's going to be quite spread out. So he's probably waiting for that to take effect, and then he can rush in with the following infantry. But whilst we've sort of been focusing more on the air, we can't ignore that Gonzo has taken back a position on the top of this ridge, and he's also just bombed this 6-pounder now, which is going to stop Karma from covering the reinforcing roads. But another Typhoon coming in from Karma doesn't get the kill this time. The KV-1E actually survives, and that's pretty big, because that's a large investment. And oh, it's coming under fire from the Yak-9 as well there. Looks like the Typhoon will get out. Off map, not really pinning too much. Seems to have completely missed the mark. The engineer is going to be bumping into the 2 Gavardia here. Was that? Oh, that was the Centaur. I thought it was some sort of artillery coming in, but no, the Centaur managed to find line of sight there into the town and finish off that squad. On the top, Tripolston, Centaur are getting the better of the Gavardia. Further up here, both of the machine guns did get taken out, and that's 2 Canadian Paras in the way of the Gavardia pushing forwards. But we do see the T-34 and KV-1E trying to make some ground. We haven't seen the IS-1 come out yet, which is something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Because the IS-1, if it comes out on this top side, especially with the support of the M15s, could really do work against the, well, the defences that Karma has there. The Centaur, the Tripolston, the 6-pounder won't be able to penetrate the IS-1. Lovely kill by the Tempest, by the way. Took out one of the Yak-1s before it even dropped its bombs. Also, the Tempest on the bottom side now coming in to get the bomb onto the Gavardia. And it looks like Karma's push here has actually worked out quite nicely. The off-map ended up hitting the mark. It's still landing that off-map, so maybe he did a barrage. But either way, he has managed to push back these Avtos into a position where they're now up on the hill, but is now being hit by his own off-map, which is not too great. This Centaur quite happy to engage a turret-stuck KV-1E. Will kill it eventually. T-34s moving up the road here. They are going to be looking for the kill onto the Centaur. Centaur actually has a surprising amount of frontal armor on these long-range engagements. They can bounce quite a bit against medium tanks, whilst providing the HE fire. And eventually the HE will overwhelm the armor of a T-34. So I think Karma's got to be a little bit careful there with engagement, but he's done very well with his aircraft so far, and has managed to find quite a lot of value out of his Tempests. Still looking for value out of the Mosquitoes. One of the Typhoon ATs didn't do too well in the end. That Mosquito actually kind of missing the mark completely. But there is just an abundance of infantry coming in on the bottom side here, and the off-map trying to land so that he can take back his ground. Is that the Mosquito there, landing its napalm onto the Avtos? Yeah, I think Karma here is making a lot of ground, but there goes the Centaur on the top side. 17-pounders now being invested in by Karma. Oh, got to be very careful that doesn't get sniped. Almost did. 17-pounders unloading. He's got one further back, one further forwards. That will allow him to kind of cover himself. Was that a bounce? 17-pounder bounced off the KV-1E there. Tripolston goes down though. Nice kill for Gonzo. Gonzo opening up the skies once again. Mosquito dropping the napalm onto the Gavardia. Going to help his infantry move forwards. And I think the support that he's given his infantry with this off-map, with the aircraft, has been very nice from Karma. It has allowed him to gain back more ground that he previously lost. He took this very early on, but it seems as though it like slowly got broken down over time. Oh, the Mosquito though, the double M15 doing its job. That's why you have them together. They just rip that out the sky. Beautiful stuff. Glider crew gonna go down, open up more ground for the Gavardia. 17-pounder was taken out, and the second one gonna go down. Those 17-pounders, Karma's got to be careful not to waste them. They are probably one of the only things that he has to deal with heavier armor. So if the IS-2 comes in later on and the 17-pounders are all dead, he's going to have to rely on the Tempest bombing them, which is going to be tough, especially if the IS-1 is supported by the M15s, which it most likely will be. 17-pounder though does manage to take out the KV. Did already get a direct hit onto the T-34. Second shot will do the trick. Bombing strike onto the Gvardia, halves it. 17-pounder looking to finish off that T-34. Should be able to smash the T-34 with that hit, but the T-34 actually bounced that shot from the 17-pounder. Typhoon coming in for the rocket strike. Looking for that T-34E, loses line of sight. Gonzo, I think, quickly pulled that off to the side there. That was very, very quick thinking from Gonzo. Quick micro into the building there to avoid that rocket strike, but second time round he might not be so lucky, as both of these T-34s are now out in the open and in line of sight. But another 17-pounder going down there before it killed the T-34. That is so unfortunate for Gonzo, or for Karma, sorry. Gonzo, though, holding on. 12 to 12. Karma doing pretty well on this bottom side. Gonzo doesn't really have the infantry to reply to Karma just yet. He's managed to keep these Avtos out of position, which is quite nice. Typhoon does get the kill onto the T-34, but the Centaur goes down. That's 2 of the Centaurs now dealt with, which is quite nice. These 2 snipers, they will be able to pick off the low health squads of the Gvardia, so that's what he's going to be looking to do there. He's also got a Tetrarch moving up. That can use its base of machine gun at close range, but looks like that's more likely going to go for the snipes onto the M15. So Gonzo's got to be a bit careful there. T-34 moving into the town. After the off-maps coming down, he's basically looking to use the T-34 to capture this flag and also potentially surrender any infantry squads nearby. He's now managed to get 13 to 11. So Karma losing tickets once again. The aggression from Gonzo on this top side has served him well in gaining ground, but not too many flags. He needs to maintain pressure in the town as well if Gonzo wants to win this game based on his current situation, but it just seems as though Gonzo is maybe over-investing into this top side and not really gaining anything from it. Potentially he's looking for this flag further up. That's why he's got his Gvardia here, trying to push as hard as they can onto the snipers. But it's very difficult to make ground here because it's so close to Karma's spawn. And Karma can reinforce this very quickly from this road. But unless he can somehow cut off that road, maybe from being up on the hill, for example, then he's not really going to get anywhere there. And that's the biggest trouble he's having right now. 6-pounder going to be pinned down by artillery. Off map coming in there. Mosquito looking for the bombing strike onto the T-34E. Now we've got an air engagement coming in who will come out on top. Both of them going for their bombing strikes first. Nicely done from Karma. Yak-9 struggling to get back onto the Tempest. Oh, you can see the micro here from both players. Karma, though, these Tempests are very good. Mosquito was trying to get the Yak-9, but the Gonzo just flying over his AA to try and get the Mosquito shut down. Karma not letting that happen, very much on the ball. Nicely done. Nicely done indeed. Karma needs to continue making good trades in the air and use his bombers to great effect in order to stay in this game, because he is under a lot of pressure, and the build-up of these T-34s is making it very, very difficult for Karma to use these 17-pounders. But with the backup of the Challenger, that might change things a little bit. These T-34Es will have penetration against the Challenger at range, but the Challenger is a pretty good tank. It's got 45% accuracy and the 170 mils of penetration, which makes it very reliable at penetrating. But, oh, that shot from the T-34 there, what an absolute beauty. Takes down the Challenger, and that's the trouble with that, is that the medium tanks can still penetrate. Oh, this isn't good for Karma. One of his Mosquitoes has been caught out by Gonzo's Yak-9, but does that have the ammunition to finish it off? Just about. 15 bullets left in that 20 mil. Damn. Now the Yak-9 going for the Typhoon, but not sure it's really going to be able to shoot it down. He's going to run out of ammo before he kills that, I reckon. That 12mm machine gun, can it finish the job? Yes, it can! What a beaut! These are some lovely trades. Yak-9 finishing off 2 aircraft there. Damn, Gonzo's air micro has been on point in this series, it really has. Karma has as well in some cases, but I think Gonzo's outshining him in that department, and when you're playing the 6th Airborne, that's a very tough position to be in. So Gonzo managing to clean out the top side using Avto's Guardia, manages to get control of this flag, which gives him 13 to 11, but not far for Karma to go to try and reinforce that and push back. Karma still controlling the majority of the flags on the bottom side, and this is making such a huge difference. Like, you can see how much value for money Gonzo's getting out of his units because he has way more on the field. But this concentration of infantry in the town on the bottom side is keeping Karma in this game, and it's super smart that Karma keeps investing into this town because he knows that he can keep the flags even though he's under a lot of pressure on the top side. Like, he's basically just holding the front line with his glider crew and the sniper. I mean, the sniper doesn't even hold the front line because it's a recon unit, so he's probably just keeping that glider crew hidden, and that's what he needs to do because Gonzo just isn't committing up there. And again, as long as Karma just keeps the pressure on the bottom side, Gonzo's going to have to try and take it back because he's going to end up losing ground like Karma is on the bottom side, on the top side. KV-85s are now on the field. They are moving up, and they're trying to get into position here to help support any infantry pushes from Gonzo. But it looks like Gonzo's actually trying to reinforce his top side, and I feel like it's going to be very tough. The air landing engineers, plus the sniper and the Tetrarch, is all he really needs to just finish off the remainder of the units here. And it's going to take him a very long time to get his infantry into position, and this Tetrarch can then just snipe reinforcing units. So, yeah, again, I feel like Gonzo is over-investing in his pushes in the top side. It's very easy for Karma to bring out reinforcements and prevent any of his pushes, whilst he's kind of allowing Karma to just kind of sit on the hill and in the town, where like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flags are. You know, if Gonzo controlled even just 2 or 3 of these now, and those 3 are technically on his side of the map, that's a clear advantage for Gonzo. So I think, you know, Karma's game plan is really smart in that he's putting his emphasis into the town. Gonzo has done very well with his micro in this game, but I feel like his overall macro gameplay has been questionable. He hasn't really had a very strong strategy so far in this game. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. Anyway, the IS-1 has now arrived. Finally. That's come out very, very late in this game. It's actually Phase C. Usually you see the IS-1 as a Phase A unit because it's very much a very strong tank that is hard to reply to in the early game. But now a lot of these Typhoons are dealt with and have been brought out. I think Gonzo's more comfortable bringing the IS-1 out to play, especially with the 2 M15s happily sitting there on the top of the map. The Yak-9 still looking for the kill onto the Typhoon. Has made that fall back. So if Gonzo can micro this correctly, he might be able to finish it off, but the Typhoon just pulling enough range there with the speed. This Yak-9, however, surely going to take down the Mosquito. Yeah, there it goes again. Gonzo's micro on these Yak-9s, making it enough to shoot down the 6th Airborne. Like, that is quite something. But Karma still has more up his sleeve. Tempest coming in again. Bombing strike onto the Gavardia. Is Gavardia not in cover? Taking a lot of damage. Another bombing strike from the Tempest, hitting the mark. They're getting forced back. The Enfields from those engineers and air landings, plus the Tetrarch, base of machine gun, and the sniper. Definitely getting the better of things. Gonzo somehow did manage to get those Gavardi into position. I'm surprised that Karma's Tetrarch didn't manage to snipe those, but with the OBs in position, maybe they would have been taken out. Regardless, Gonzo is still being pushed back. So the fact he did get his reinforcements there didn't really help him too much because the aircraft is coming in, again, from his spawn close by. So he's struggling. Either way, Karma on the bottom side is making a push here. KV-85 looking for the snipes. Oh, they're the glider crew just happily roaming through. This KV-85. Oh, was that this KV-85? That was a shot and a half. Beautiful stuff. Yak 9B. Oh, what a bombing strike again from Gonzo. These are some clutch plays, but Karma's overall investment into this bottom side has kept him in the game so far. Cromwell doing a lot of damage to these Gavardia. But the KV-85, that is a scary beast coming up, and that poor Cromwell. That poor Cromwell. He is dead. And that's the flag over to Gonzo. Gonzo starting to break things down. 13 to 11 now. He's captured back a couple flags on the bottom side. He is losing ground on the top as Karma continues to invest his reinforcing infantry here. Looks like the two squads that did move up ended up getting taken out, but the Gavardia of Gonzo has done a complete runner. Big push from the Avtos. Only 2 men. That was a tough push. All those Avtos against an air landing and the engineer. The engineer still having its HE available. Sturmoviki though on the way now. Sturmoviki rocks. Those are the guys with the 2 flamethrowers and submachine guns. I like that Gonzo's finally decided to attack the bottom side, but it's only really going to play into the hands of Karma in a sense that Karma's quite happy to continue investing his infantry into this engagement. Nice bombing strike from the Yak 9. Kills off that engineer squad. They were on the move, so they weren't entrenched, and that did a lot. Is this going to be another Yak 9 kill? He actually pulls away with the second Tempest coming in. That could have almost been another Tempest kill. In some ways, I kind of feel like trading a Yak 9 for a Tempest is actually a good trade, but Gonzo liking the fact that he has those bombs to help him out, so going to be keeping them alive. Bombing strike from the Tempest does hit the Visivod, but the Visivod survive. So Sturmoviki still sitting here at the 3-star veterancy. Sturmoviki coming with the 2-star veterancy. The extra veterancy there makes them very scary at close range. Triple Gavardia finding the glider crew that managed to push all the way through. AV though getting shots in. Glider crew is going to get pinned down very quickly and surrendered. So now it's going to be a push from the Gavardia into the entrenched positions of Karma in the bottom side town. It looks like the air landing and grenadiers here. Getting close to the Visivod. Sturmoviki though moving up. Oh, this is going to be a massacre. Sturmoviki though not in range of the grenadiers. They're going to be forced to run forwards. They will take some losses for that. But the double flamethrowers melting those grenadiers. Ox and Bucks, however, now getting involved. The double Bren. If those Sturmoviki are on the move, they will take a lot of damage. And with the Visivod actually falling back, no 3-star veterancy, that means they're going to take even more damage. And the Sturmoviki here, probably just going to get overwhelmed by numbers. Especially with the 3 full squads there. Tempest still coming in for those strikes. Typhoon taking a lot of damage. Looks like the IS-1 was the target. Now under fire from the Challenger. Challenger, I think, can probably kill off the T-34, but not so much the IS-1. The IS-1 just being forced back for the time being. Here comes the Yak-9 again. Bombing strike onto those grenadiers. That's a double kill. And a surrender. Mosquito not quite there in time. Takes a lot of fire from that AA. Seems as though Gonzo's decided to move the M15s to the center of the map so that he can potentially find kills. That Yak-9 gonna get on the back of the Mosquito potentially. IL-237 coming in. Yeah, Mosquito does go down. IL-2 does get the Cromwell. Challenger's still alive. Challenger's pretty scary. Oh, nice kill there. KV-85 gets line of sight onto the Cromwell on the top. And again, the pressure from Gonzo here is almost unbearable for Karma now, especially since Gonzo's making the push towards the town. Oh, that's a big mistake from Gonzo though. Almost 3 of his infantry getting killed by that bomber. Very quick reply from Gonzo onto the Mosquito. Let's take it down. Mosquito flew almost straight towards these M15s. And the Yak-9 gonna take out the 17-pounder. Beautiful stuff. Again, these Yaks being microed so damn well. It looks like this Tempest's in trouble. Gonna come on over the air of the M15s and 2 Yaks on target. That's another Tempest down. IL-2's just hanging about, picking off armor here and there. Looks like the Grenadiers of Karma have managed to get the better of the infantry of Gonzo. The infantry that Gonzo has is actually very inefficient against Karma's 6th Airborne, so I think that's one place that Gonzo's going to have to be very careful. He has made really good plays so far, but with the lack of ground gained, or at least not necessarily ground, but flags, it's been very, very difficult for Gonzo. In the tickets are still quite even, so yeah, I feel like Gonzo's got better value for money out of his units so far. But Gonzo could struggle with infantry availability in the late game because the infantry attrition works in the favour of Karma. And that's a big thing that we might have to keep an eye on. 17 pounder almost gets the shot onto the KV-85, but not quite. Tempest coming in now for a bombing strike. 6th Airborne certainly do get a lot of these Tempests. In the most recent patch, these have definitely been nerfed, so you don't get as many of them. But when the final was played, that was not the case, so a lot of these infantry squads being picked off slowly but surely, and I think that's what Karma just needs to keep doing to get back in this game. Just grind down Gonzo's infantry, and then just sit in position, because the tanks really won't be able to make any plays without the support of his own infantry. So, yeah. Challenger going down there, though. KV-85 does the job. And once again, in any sort of significant unit, like expensive units, Gonzo comes out on top. But the infantry grind is certainly falling in the favour of Karma, I feel. Especially since he's focusing his mosquitoes, like the napalm mosquitoes, these bombing mosquitoes, the Tempests, all are on killing infantry. And that really does make a big difference over time. Again, Grenadiers here getting the better of the Decisive VOD. Sturmoviki are moving into position, will be able to take out the Canadian Paras, but they do trade a couple men to do so. And these Sturmoviki squads, there aren't that many of them, so he's got to be careful, especially when they start to get picked off from range. But the KV-85 there blasting that Grenadier to oblivion. That's nasty. Oh, and that's a mistake, letting the M15 getting taken out there by the 17 pounder. Oh no. The impenetrable M15s are now penetrable. That one M15 is such a sitting duck on its own. And I wonder if Karma will realise that he's done that. I would assume he did. Oh, and the Typhoon able to take out the IS-2. No air cover for that. KV-85 goes down as well to the 17 pounder. Oh no. That could be a really bad point for Gonzo here in this game. The M15 dying. You wouldn't think that that mattered so much, but it does make a huge difference in games like this, where they are still actually pretty tight on the tickets. 13 to 11. The contested flag is this one on the map right now. Also, of course, Gonzo managing to take back one in the town. Sturmoviki trying to push onto Grenadiers with the support of the KV-85, but not really having too much luck. It looks like one of the squads did get killed off, or maybe it just fell back, because there's one up here as well. These Grenadiers want to be engaging from range. Sturmoviki. Looks like they're going to get picked off. This Grenadier just has clean line of sight with the two Brens. Also the Lee Enfields there. Yeah, Sturmoviki are very dead, and that's the trouble with using that sort of close range infantry in a town environment, is you do open yourself up to being shot at these sort of medium range engagements. So two Gavadias here going to be engaging the Grenadiers. They're going to be able to push up on the hill, but the Tempest's going to be trying to break that down, and these Gavadia have only just been reinforced. Could be a good chance here for Mosquito to get some damage done, but nope, just going to go for a couple more squads. Clean up the squads that were already low. Tempest is now taking the shots from the M15. Probably both of those are going to get away. It's just the difference between having one M15 and two M15s at 2-star veterancy is probably both of those aircraft would have gone down in that situation where they flew right over the top. We're 14 to 10 now. Gavadia capturing back another flag on the bottom side. And Gonzo's just about finally done what he needed to do probably earlier in the game, in my opinion, and that's put pressure on this bottom side. Challenger actually gets the better of the KV-85. That's very, very difficult. Can the IL-2 finish the job? I think it lost line of sight. Try Polston having a go from the high ground. That off-map hitting absolutely nothing. I think Gavardi's or Gonzo's convinced there's more here than there was, or there is. Admittedly, Karma has been putting a lot of emphasis in this bottom side town, so maybe Gonzo's starting to get a bit shaken here, especially with a lot of the losses further up. We also saw the ISU 152 die here. There it is. That got taken out, I assume, by the 17-pounder again. There was also a bombing strike, but I don't think that landed on the ISU 152. Air landing glider crew making a cheeky push on this top side, but I don't think they're going to get too far. Not with the sniper and the OB in position, although there is the Mosquito. Of course, the aircraft. We just can't forget about the aircraft. It just opens up so many opportunities for Karma. And now the bombing's coming in. It's probably going to kill both of these units. Lovely double kill. Only has to do the same here. And those infantry squads are very free to go across the top side of the map and take a lot of ground, especially since Gonzo's replying with Sturmoviki. Off map comes down. Looks like the Challenger was dealt with. A lot of ground gained here for Gonzo. 15-9 now in favour. ISU's on the way to cover the top side. Those ISUs, the only thing that really counters them is the 17-pounder. So if Karma keeps that alive, he might be able to pick those off like he did the first one. And Tempest can certainly help him do that, because they can pin down the ISU 152s, and then the 17-pounder like sits on return fire and then pops it as it's sort of falling back. Now, this M15 is just in such an impossible position. It's got so much work to do, and I just can't be in the right position at any one point, because as soon as he moves it up, the planes come in on the bottom. As soon as he moves it down, they come in on the top. So it's very, very tough at the moment for Gonzo in the AA department. The Canadian, or the AB Para, sorry, in air landing are coming in to reinforce, take back a flag immediately. Gonzo did not really move forwards too much with his Gavardia. I don't think it would really matter against this abundance of infantry regardless, and it seems as though infantry is hard to come by from Gonzo right now. He's certainly lacking quite a lot of it. Typhoon gonna be managing to get a kill onto the KV-85, but the Mosquito did go down. So nice job by the M15 there, was placed in the right place this time around. I mean, Gonzo, it's not like he's putting it in the wrong place. I don't want to make it sound like he's been putting it in the wrong place. It's just that it happened to be in the right place at the right time this time around and managed to get the kill there. So that was good for Gonzo. Either way, air landing are starting to chip away at these Gavardia in the town, and the AB Paras are still making pushes. Now, one nice thing about these AB Paras is if they do get into the 100-meter range, they're going to be able to do quite a bit of damage to the Gavardia because they have an extra 2 submachine guns. But they can also engage at range and still chip those Gavardia that are already low on health. Again, the M15 managing to kick down another Mosquito that flies straight towards it. Karma's still trying to break down the infantry of Gonzo in order to get into this game. The 17-pounder here is aligning. Is that looking for the shot onto the M15? It is, and finds the kill. That is the last piece of the puzzle for Karma, I believe, especially in terms of his aircraft. He does need to make sure that he doesn't lose any more of his aircraft to the Yak-9s, but that's considerably easier now that the M15s don't prevent him from flying over certain parts of the map. And the Tempest can very easily get the better of the Yak-9s if they are microed well, and Karma has already proved that he can micro his Tempest in order to get the better of the Yak-9s. So Karma should be in a decent position from here on out. Mosquito is coming in on the bottom side to finish off another Gavardia squad. You see again the Paras have chipped the Gavardia. Mosquito is going to come in and finish them off. And that's just going to continue to happen over and over and over again. Every single unit that comes in of Gavardia is eventually going to take a bomb to the face. And that's what Karma needs to do and what he needs to keep doing. It does seem like he's kind of maybe lacking some of his own infantry right now, but that might just be because he just invested a lot of points into the double challenger. And this double challenger can definitely make a difference up here. He has lost control of these trees where he had the 17 pounder. It looks like the 17 pounder was taken out probably by the ISU 152s. But now with the challengers being microed in light cover, should be able to get some decent shots onto the ISU 152s. They're going to struggle to aim in time. IL-2 37 though on the way for Gonzo, and also something I failed to mention so far, the 203 has come in on this far left side, so that's now engaging this tree line on the top, and will pin down glider crew and air landing very quickly. 17 pounder also moving into position there, will eventually take a hit. IL-2 doesn't have line of sight onto the challenges, coming under fire from the Mosquito. Oh, will the Mosquito finish it off? No, it won't. Tempest, though, going to be microed. You can see that Karma's specifically microing these Tempests every single time in order to get these kills. That's going to fly right over the Tripolston. The Tripolston rips it out the sky. IL-237 down. Challengers are free to engage. The ISU 152s are actually backing off here. That's going to be... I think there was a third tank. It must have got picked off. Bombing strike again, hitting the mark. That's the Gavardia that was with the VZ VOD dead. This AB Para probably wants to fall back. It is a full house squad, more or less. Well, they want one man down. And landing, managing to hold the Gavardia for now, since the Gavardia are on an attack move order. So the Paras are going to be able to recover. Oh, we see the infantry coming in here on the top. The two Stamaviki rocks, will they be engaged from a distance? This is important. The air landing AB Paras. Oh, looks like Karma's moved up the order, but with the sniper engaging, that is going to force him to unload at least one of those. Mosquito coming in with a bombing strike does take out the OB, so that's no longer a problem. And with the sniper continuing to engage the air landing, it looks like these infantry are making a lot of ground now. IL-2 coming in once again for an engagement onto the Challenger. Does have line of sight this time around. Does find the kill. There's one of them down. That does open up opportunities for the ISU 152s, which are now shifting their weight to the top side of the map to try and prevent some of this infantry that has broken through. But that infantry is going to be hard to get rid of, especially if Gonzo is lacking infantry availability himself, which it looks like he is, especially with the reliance on these two flamer units now coming in onto this hill. The KV-85s are also getting very aggressive now, as you can see. He's fast moving that into the town, and he can go ahead and do that, but of course he's going to get caught out by the Piat, as we can see. I mean, he doesn't know that. He's just trying to make his ground as quickly as possible. Players do resort to being overly aggressive like this in order to get the job done, especially when they do have lack of infantry. But one thing Gonzo does lack is AA, and the Typhoon AT are going to take advantage of that to take out one of the ISU 152s. The IL-2 did manage to clean up the second Challenger and get away by the looks of things, so Gonzo's still holding on to the 14-10, but we're still not seeing any infantry reinforcements from Gonzo, and as long as that maintains, or as long as that continues to be the case, Gonzo's going to find it very hard to finish the game, because all that Karma really needs to do is just place infantry in trees that his tanks are going to be forced to pass, and then the tanks get killed by Piats and so on. Also, of course, the abundance of air support that Karma has right now is pretty ridiculous. But a 15-9 is a double tick. Karma's going to have to get a move on if he wants to stay in the game. Oh, Ox and Bucks go down. That is not good. Oh, the shot from the 203. That is so clutch. 2 units of Ox and Bucks killed. Gonzo. Lovely stuff. Karma can't be happy with himself. 17 pounder looking to kill the KV-85. Bombing strikes on the top side, trying to take care of the KV-85 and the ISU 152 here. Don't quite get the job done. Definitely weaken those tanks up a little bit though. And the following bombing strikes will probably kill them off. So this top side, very, very precarious for Gonzo right now. He's got 1 unit Gavardia, 1 flamer coming in to just hold this position. I guess technically that's all he needs to do. Just hold on to that flag, hold on to this flag in the open best he can, and then maybe he can hold on to the end of the game in order to find a victory. But Karma still has plenty up his sleeve by the looks of things. The double air landing there. This AB Para, I think either that was pinned down or it managed to kill something, and it gained a little bit of ground here, took that flag back. Sniper's now engaging the AB Para. Air landing, finding the Gavadia. The air landing should be able to pick off that Gavadia, especially with the support of the Cromwell. And now that the Mosquitoes have kind of got the better of the armor in the top side, and also the Typhoons, of course, the Cromwells are free to push through with the infantry support. So basically, Karma can continue sort of a normal game plan of having his infantry supported by armor, whilst Gonzo really can't. But nice artillery there, does land onto the 17-pounder. That's going to be taken out by the KV-85. But look at these bombing strikes on the top side. The two Mosquitoes take out the ISU-152 and the KV-85. Both have gone down. Gavadia are pinned. That's going to open up a lot of ground for these infantry squads to continue to move forwards. And whilst I was saying that Gonzo's out of infantry, he's probably going to be pretty close to being out of tanks, because the 26th don't actually get that many of them. And this is very, very tough for Gonzo right now. AB Paras are actually running down his tank. Oh, that was close. The AB Paras almost a hero there, but not quite. Air landing. Gonna get line of sight. Maybe? Nope. That's the Bren gun opening up. Oh, lovely bombing strike though, straight onto the Sturmoviki. They've just been brought in. Flamers wiped out by the Tripolston. Oh, it's all over the place. We saw the game like this in the first match. This time around, it's even closer. This is ridiculous. Both sides just on their last units, surely. It seems as though Karma still has the infantry availability, as I've mentioned many, many times. But Gonzo's still holding in here. Tempest taking out the snipers. These AB Paras and the air landing coming in could spell doom for this KV-85, because it's just not going to be able to deal with it, especially if they get into the buildings. Currently 12 to 12 for Gonzo, or well, I guess 12 to 12 even. Yeah, it's tough. I feel like Gonzo's in a much worse position right now than Karma. Karma still has all of the tricks up his sleeve that the 6th Airborne should have, the abundance of good infantry and the aircraft. Like the Typhoon here coming in to try and take out the KV-85 is really nice. Tetruck Little John actually got a shooter knock onto the KV-85 there, which is perfect, because it allows the Tetruck to keep moving up, and the Typhoon's going to come in and get the kill anyway. So now Karma goes 13 to 11. And I think what this mainly came down to was, although Gonzo was trading extremely well in the first half of the game, and getting some really, really solid air plays against the 6th Airborne's aircraft, it just didn't pay off, because a lot of the emphasis was on the top side, where there wasn't as many flags to gain as there was on the bottom side. The concentration of flags down on the bottom side of this map, Slutsk East, is very significant. So I think, again, the macro game from Karma was on point. He very much invested a lot of his infantry into this bottom side, knew that he could outvalue Gonzo in those trades, and he's made it work to the late game. And now, also with breaking down Gonzo's lack of AA, has allowed the Mosquitoes, Typhoons, and also Tempests to get the better of things. So all that's holding Karma from taking 3 flags is 1 Gavadia, and well, even that's not doing the job anymore. As the air landing move into position, the Cromwell moves onto the flag, the AB Paras have moved down far enough. That's 16 to 8 for Karma. 11 minutes now until Gonzo loses the game, and one more flamer coming in, but I think Gonzo's really done now, and he knows it too. Gonzo surrenders. 51 minutes, 57 seconds. What a game. Another absolutely incredible one. I didn't even realize it was that long. Like, honestly, 51 minutes. Incredible. Incredible stuff. Because it didn't feel like it dragged, right? Both players were at each other's throats for the entire thing. It just doesn't get better than this, guys. It really doesn't. The KD's so close. But if you consider that it is that close, Gonzo must have had a hell of a lead. in the mid game. Seriously. 5,945 kills to 5,765 losses. Nicely done. Karma stays in the game with some strong macro play. And also some strong micro, I would say, especially with his aircraft, with the Typhoon, or with the Tempest, more specifically. Managed to get quite a lot of job done there. But look at this. This is beautiful. Yak 9 killed multiple units of infantry, a couple AT guns, and 4 aircraft, including a Tempest, 2 Mosquitoes, and a Typhoon. That is beautiful stuff. The grouping of the T-34s on the top side to get rid of these 17-pounders was really good. Mosquito shooting down a couple of Mosquitoes there, of course. Again, another Mosquito going down to a Yak 9. I mean, these Yak 9s generally are underpowered, so being able to get them on the back of an aircraft long enough to shoot it down is quite impressive. Again, another M15 shooting down 2 Mosquito. Just wasn't enough in the end. There was still more aircraft available in the sky for the 6th Airborne, and that's what it's all about. And you see these Tempests really do hurt. Tempest there taking out the M15, Yak 9. This Tempest, 2 Yak 9s, making that 3 Yak 9s. I think one trouble that Gonzo has with this 26th Guards is in the meta of like fighter bombers. He really does lack AA. Those M15s are very strong, but without something a little extra, it's very difficult for him to maintain AA throughout the game. And when it gets breaking down in the late game against a division that relies very heavily on its air, this starts to happen. Where you see the Typhoon getting some very valuable kills here. IS-1, KV-85, ISU-152, KV-85. Again, these opened up after that M15 got killed by the 17-pounder on the top of that hill. That made such a big difference in this game. Losing that one unit from Gonzo. It really, really was a big mistake. Yeah. When he was left with one M15, it was only a matter of time until that one went down as well. Incredible. And it just goes to show that in a game where both players are this good, it comes down to those fine little moments where one player loses like one too many units. It happened in Phase B in Game 2 as well, where the Yak 1s went down. That was a big turning point in the game. In this case, one AA piece goes down and the whole thing changes. Big deal. Incredible. All right, well, I'm going to leave it there. I am super excited for the last 2 games, if it gets that far. Obviously, Karma now 2-1 up in this best of 5 series. Will be 1 game away from taking the final, but I think we're all hoping that Gonzo brings one back and we go to a game 5. That would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.